Founders Live is the global venue for modern entrepreneurs, especially during these very challenging times. The direct impact of COVID-19 is currently being felt around the world, and it could get worse before it gets better. We are here to help you through these challenging times by connecting you to the people, information, and resources meant to move you forward as you start your next project.
We see an opportunity to bring the resources and capital and connections to the people that need it and the people that can use it, no matter where they live in the world. My honest opinion is, no matter what the economic climate is in the world, Founders Live can be important. In the good times, when it's booming, we're here to help grow companies and have them access capital that's flowing around the world and really be a fun, great event and global platform that powers entrepreneurship. In the tough times, we actually think we can be the answer, given the fact that if people are actually getting laid off and unemployment starts rising, well, the choice to start their own business is front and center, and Founders Live is right there to help them grow. I believe the secret sauce of Founders Live lies in the combination of these three words: inspiration, education, and entertainment. Inspiration is rooted in the energy and the passion that every single attendee has. The education is the information that we're bringing to people that they otherwise couldn't find. Founders Live Online helps solve entrepreneurs' daily challenges. If you have a question that you're just wondering, like, I don't know what to do here, you simply need to just type it into Founders Live and someone else will answer it right there for you. And the entertainment is the fun. We believe business should be fun, we believe it should be casual, and we believe it should be inspirational. Founders Live is the perfect place for you to connect with other entrepreneurs and to be inspired.
Woohoo, and welcome to Founder Boston Anniversary.
Hello, Andy. Welcome to our third anniversary edition of Founders Live Boston. It's been 3 years went by very quickly.
It sure did, and I wish we could be doing the cake with each other.
I know. We'll have a cake soon.
I know. Everyone, welcome. We love seeing everyone in the live comments. Please be sure to share your thoughts and your views and your feedback and ask everyone some questions. But let's get us started, AJ. Let me just go ahead and add to the screen. Aw, look at this incredible lineup we have tonight.
Every month, every time we do this event, we get some amazing startup founders, super innovative, very, very driven founders, and we're just excited about another event we're doing this evening.
Well, and that's because we are so lucky. We live in Boston, and this is Founders Live Boston. Founders Live, as you just heard, is a global platform. We get to pull from some really amazing startup community members and bring them in and showcase and celebrate everything they're doing in the world. Woohoo!
Correct. And you know, it's Boston, but greater Boston, the entire state of Massachusetts.
Right.
There's some pockets of innovation going on all across the state. And we're just happy to be part of this and to help, be that catalyst and open doors to a lot of these founders.
Right. Exactly. And speaking of opening doors, let's first talk about where you can find Founders Live around the world.
Yes, it's not just in Boston. The Founders Live mission has gone way beyond just one city. We're now in about 46 different cities, more than 4 continents. And there's just so much people supporting each other in these ecosystems. You could watch it live stream online once a month. You will find a live event going on in almost all the major cities all across the world.
So exciting because it's serving, and you get to meet other founders from all different parts of the world. I tell you, the fearless leader, Nick Hughes, has done a wonderful job creating this incredible community of founders. So one of the great things about Founders Live is
opening doors. And that's really our mantra. We exist to open doors, not just the founders, but a lot of other people within the community that's part of the whole ecosystem here. It's the technologists, it's the mentors, it's the angel investors, it's the VCs. Academia is a huge part of it as well, especially in this city. So we're here to open doors for everyone. We're leading with the founders, but this platform is really for everyone to get involved.
Absolutely. And, this is a great opportunity to find a new team member, get an introduction to a potential mentor or funder of your business. I mean, just so many things can happen when you are part of the Founders Live community. But we couldn't do this, AJ, without.
We have some really, really amazing partners.
Yeah.
From First Republic to our Amazon Web Services that donates almost $5K to every founder that pitches every single month.
That's right.
To CIC Boston, which we'll see a video of later on, they donate their beautiful space to us every month. So very fortunate, really good partners that really align with our mission. And they've opened doors to, I don't know, hundreds of founders that we featured here.
That's right. It's been a real pleasure, and it really helps boost our visibility and our ability to reach more folks and have an impact on more folks as well. So let's talk about what everybody gets. Speaking of all of that.
Yeah, so all founders, all four get 5K in AWS Activate credits. We all know, as a tech founder myself, hosting gets very, very expensive. So we're happy AWS stepped in, and winner gets 10K. And that goes
right?
In addition, yes.
In addition, folks.
And also UI UX review session with Synergy Consulting, which is my company. 30-minute Startup Life founder coaching session with my amazing co-host, Andy Lyons. And they also get a featured interview on the Founders Live global podcast that launched last year. That's really getting some great reviews, and you will be able to tell your own story for about an hour, your trials and tribulations, your mission, to a really, really captive audience for the Founders Live podcast.
And finally,
command your moment. Being in front of an audience takes specific skill sets, some preparation, and a lot of practice. And our partner Media Prepared, Eric Cox, who's been in the PR industry for more than 20 years, working with some of the biggest channels in Boston, he will give you a one-on-one coaching session on how to be media prepared, how to rock your next interview, and really capture that moment.
That's right. And so let's talk about who our extraordinary expert is, the man of the hour, so to speak.
Yeah, we might as well bring him on stage now, because this is my favorite part. This really gets interesting because every year, I mean, not every year, but every event, we're able to pull in some really, really experienced, passion, impact-driven, from mentors to experts and people who are just thought leaders in the community to really, help us with the event, give some expert advice to the founders. And today we have the one and only John Hawthorne, founder of Two Lantern Venture Partners and also founder of everyone knows Mass Challenge.
Yay, well, I'm gonna put you right into the big screen there, John. Thank you, John. Woo-hoo.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. What an honor. It's so great to be here. And congratulations on 3 years. What a great impact you guys have had. Amazing rapport you've built together, helping so many founders. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to join you guys tonight and help to profile a couple more great founders. And I would also throw a shout out to First Republic, which is my bank also. So I know and love them, and I can vouch for them both through the fund and as a person. So kudos and thanks to First Republic. I heard that Rob may actually beatbox for us later. I don't know. We'll see if we can coax him into it. So that's something that they're all trained well in, I believe.
That's wonderful. And folks tuning in, you have to understand this man here is just we have a warm place in our hearts for this man, because back in 2010 in our fair city, maybe a little sooner, I don't know, you can give us more in the dates. You talk about impact. You created a platform, a not-for-profit organization that has had a huge impact on founders and those who serve founders and the mentors of the founders. I mean, you brought community together in a way that not only served them with their mission and their vision, but their pocketbooks too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah,
let me paint the picture here, because I'm very familiar with Mass Challenge. 3,000 startups accelerated so far, and this is globally, folks. This is not just Boston. Israel, Mexico City, Switzerland, they're all over the place. $8.6 billion in funding raised by these startups, $3.5 billion in revenues generated. And this is my favorite metric of all, almost 186 plus jobs created in all these ecosystems.
186,000.
Yeah, 186,000.
Correct. 186,000. That's amazing. The impact that Mass Challenge has provided to all these ecosystems is just amazing. And I look at it, as I'm thinking about this tonight, I see some parallels between what occurred when, John, you started Mass Challenge back in 2009 during the financial crisis, and what the world is experiencing now with the pandemic.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of parallels here. So can you walk us through how you started in this, on this mission and with Mass Challenge, and where you were able to build?
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you guys so much. And it's so humbling, and I'm very proud and excited about the impact that Mass Challenge has had. And thank you guys for teeing that up. It was, in fact, the idea occurred in December of 2008. And that was shortly after Lehman Brothers collapsed. It was the sharpest downward part of that economic collapse. We didn't know where the bottom was. People were talking about the next Great Depression, 10 years of loss and stagnation, maybe, Dust Bowl breadline type conditions. It was really a scary, scary time. I think a worse, sharper drop than what we saw even in COVID, just devastating unemployment, real fear. And I was at Bain & Company as a consultant, where I did not want to be. I wanted to be a startup. I wanted to be a founder and launch a startup. But it was so difficult in that climate to try. I couldn't imagine raising money, couldn't imagine launching something. And I thought, this is terrible. We need startups more than ever to create jobs and growth and optimism and hope and wealth, and to solve problems in society. That's what startups are best at and what they're for. And I thought, this is terrible that it's so hard to launch them when we need them. Somebody's got to fix that. And then I kind of, half fell asleep and woke up with this adrenaline shot to the heart realization, this classic founder epiphany, that I'm somebody. Why don't I do that? And that will be my startup. And I'll launch. So Mass Challenge was that kind of spark of inspiration, leading back to what part of your guys' mission is, this inspiration, this realization that we can have an impact and we can help others to bring forward the best ideas, and then help connect them with the resources they need to launch and be successful. And we launched the first program in 2010. We spent 2009 planning it, fundraising, building the team and the advisors out. First competition 2010 in Boston, gradually expanding into Israel. We had a program in London briefly for a few years that was very successful. Tougher place to fundraise. We're now 9 programs in 7 cities and 4 countries. And as you noted, all the great stats, about 3,000 startups accelerated. So super proud. And I would say this only works because of the great community, right? It was an idea. I brought it to people. It was kind of stupid in a bunch of ways at the beginning, and people helped to correct the mistakes in my pitch and my planning. And thousands of people contributed their time, their money, their advice, their insight. Thousands of startups entered and participated and helped each other. And it created this great flywheel effect, which is, I think, so emblematic of the great community in Boston and elsewhere around the world. So I'm very grateful to everybody for all of that.
Well, kudos for you for creating that community and getting folks, galvanizing folks behind your mission. And of course, we should have a meme, founders, right? I'm going to go solve that problem. Why not me? Right. That's every founder's story. I love that. And I know, AJ, you were specifically impacted by Mass Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, this was back in 2016 when my co-founder and I were launching our own startup, Pulse. We were part of a specific cohort at Mass Challenge that was sponsored by the Boston Foundation for local Boston area founders. And, I got to tell you this, fast forward almost 5 years later, we've scaled a bit. We now have 20 people employed. We could not have done that without the mentorship and the guidance and the community that we took advantage of at Mass Challenge. So, you should share in our success. I'll definitely send you some updates personally, but thanks to your mission and what you were able to launch, I could not be where I am without.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. And the Boston Foundation has been a great partner as well. They're a wonderful organization. So, and I'm glad they helped us to create that program and our overall operations and stuff. So just really spectacular. Great.
So AJ, I'm going to bring in our founders. We're going to do a little round table. You good with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to add Ning to the stream. We're going to add Mile to the screen and the stream. And there is John. And I know Lewis is going to be coming in. There he is.
Oh.
It's not every day we get to be with a local startup celebrity who's got a great brain from which we can ask some great questions. How would you like to begin, AJ?
Yeah, let's go with Miles first, and then we'll go over to John, and then Lewis, and then Ning.
Okay, so I've got Miles' question down here. Wait for it. We'll bring it up as a big banner. Go ahead.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
So my question relates a lot more about consumer brand specifically, because sometimes it works so well to just use the founder, owner, or ourselves as the very main face of a consumer brand, but sometimes it doesn't. I just wanted to hear your comments on the reasons for that, of what would work and what would not work, or your further comments on that.
It's a really great question, and I think this is tricky. So we had a discussion around this at Mass Challenge as well, and I've seen it in dozens and even hundreds of startups. So if the founder is in particular already a celebrity, already very famous, right? If
so easy.
Tom Brady is part of your founding team, then he is going to be the face of by virtue of his fame and charisma. So if there's and even if they aren't a super celebrity, if they're deeply charismatic and are really the core ideator behind the brand, the main passion that drives it, then it can work in those scenarios, especially if they really enjoy the limelight and that's part of what they're really excellent at. But there's a lot of risks. Even if they're good at it, they could have an accident and be out of commission. They could get sick. They could decide to switch and do a different kind of company. There are scandals. We've had some founders involved in various scandals. They have mental breakdowns, can't handle the stress or pressure, and then that can completely destroy the company if you're overly reliant upon one face. So in general, I would say, unless there's a really clear advantage, like significant celebrity status, it's my general take to be a little bit cautious about making the founder too central. And we were very careful at Mass Challenge, even though I was pretty central to the original idea and was out pitching it all the time. I did not want it to have my name in the brand or be the sole face of it. And we made a lot of effort to make sure we got lots of other folks there representing the brand.
Wait, I got to put Lewis. I'm just going to mute your mic there. Cool. Okay.
I don't know. I hope that answered your question, Miles. I think.
Yes, thank you so much. Such
a good question, Miles, especially about the brand. It should always be about the product and the brand. And boy, when you can remove that person from it. I'm just going to throw John's up here next. Okay, John, go for it.
Sure. So John, what is the most important quality you look for in a founder once your team feels that the startup meets your investment thesis?
This is great. And so this is in particular, I'm going to answer this. Well, I'll answer for both parts. So from a Mass Challenge perspective first, and then Now I'm running a venture fund. So in terms of investment is slightly different, but related. The main thing I really look for is I want to see intense passion, commitment, persistence, this kind of bias to action. There's Desh Deshpande has said it very well in the past, that there are sort of three kinds of people in the world. Somebody who sees a problem and complains about it and says like, oh, this is terrible, this is despicable, look at this, dirty road, or the bus is late, or whatever the problem is, and they complain and blame others. There's people who see it and are just oblivious and move on around their life and don't even barely notice it, et cetera. And then there's those that see it and feel obligated to fix it and take care of it. And that's the entrepreneur. That's the natural inclination to want to improve and resolve problems. And so I want to see that energy, that spark, that they really care deeply about the impact that they're trying to create, because it's really hard. It doesn't matter how solid your plan is, how great your team is, how good your timing is, how much funding you have, how much traction you've got. It's going to be extremely difficult. And there's going to be numerous ups and downs and very difficult cycles. So if you don't really care, you're going to quit. Like it's not worth it. You'll give up. So I want to see that unreasonable attachment to the outcome of the startup, which expresses itself as deep perseverance. There's a self-awareness as well, a willingness to listen to feedback. It doesn't have to be a blunt, stupid arrogance, but it's about a real drive and a desire to just solve the problem. That's the number one thing that I look for in founders. And that's both in investing as well as in for Mass Challenge. Just in general, that's what drives success.
Thank you. And just to talk about Mass Challenge, my co-founder went through Mass Challenge and he just raves about it. So as an unbiased person, I mean, it's such a great program. And I mean, I see it on him, all the learnings that he now has at having gone through that program.
That's great.
That's so great. And I just love unreasonable attachment to the outcome. So good. Ning, do you have a question for John?
Yeah, of course. I have one question. So every time when we talk to investors, the most common frequent question we are asked is, do you have attraction? Because that's a proof of concept. So I'm wondering, like during your past career in Mass Challenge or as an investor, have you ever invested in a founder or team? Individual founder without a team, without a products, but just a story. So in what scenario will you invest in such a founder, and why is that?
Yeah. So also great question. And I think, of course, traction is kind of like, market traction is the best evidence that you're onto something and that you're capable of executing and that it's worth looking at very closely and potentially investing in. So traction is outstanding. There's lots of people that can tell fantastic stories, but can't execute and get stuff done. And at the end of the day, that's not worth very much. So traction is great. That said, at the very early stages in a pre-seed company, it's very difficult to have real meaningful traction. It's early, and you probably haven't figured out the business model yet. You probably don't even know exactly who your customers are. It's not fully refined. So you can't always rely on people to have lots of traction. We have invested at Two Lanterns in companies that have limited traction or very little traction. And I know from when we were launching Mass Challenge, having to pitch for money and advisors and team members when you don't have anything, when nobody's ever heard of the brand, you're a nobody, just one or two people. We were using a mirror as a whiteboard because we didn't have an office space. We didn't really have a name worked out. The idea was crazy sounding. So it's really tricky. And I think what you can do that counts as traction is to just demonstrate real passion and commitment to the cause, the ability to clearly articulate what your goals are and the impact that you want to create. And to do that with energy, and then to demonstrate that you're getting meetings, right? Even we used to say like, I'm meeting next week with Microsoft, right? They haven't committed to anything. They don't know. I'm not learning from them. I don't have an advice. They're not advising me or anything. But I'm just saying they took a meeting. I got a meeting with Microsoft. Somebody from the governor's team is having a phone call with us in 2 weeks. Right? Oh wow, the governor's team. So it sort of like puffs you up a little bit bigger than you are. You can't lie. That's very important, because if you get, A, it's just unethical and wrong. But B, if you get caught in a lie, you will be immediately turned, like people will not work with you. It's not acceptable. So you can't lie, but you can spin positively. And that is using minor amounts of leverage or minor amounts of accomplishment and kind of puffing them up a little bit bigger. So we would do that a lot. just listing off people that took meetings. We sent off, 75 emails this morning. We've already gotten 15 replies. Like, those are small accomplishments, but they're meaningful at that stage. And it shows people that you're driven to action. You care about results. You're getting early traction with some people. Even like, I got a co-founder, or we got somebody to agree to be an intern for free. We registered the website URL. We got our email set up. Even that stuff at the very beginning is something. So leverage the little teeny bits. And then you can outline, here's what I'm going to do next, right? So, I'm here to raise funding because I'm not done yet, right? If I was totally done and had all the traction in the world, I wouldn't need your money. But here's what I'm going to use your money for. I'm going to get 100,000 users on the platform. I'm going to hire 4 more people. I'm going to get my customer acquisition costs down to 1/5 of what it is today, whatever. So you can lay out those metrics. That is really compelling. And we invest early stage, pre-seed, seed, Series A. So pre-seed, for sure, there's not that much traction. We're riding on little bits of traction here and there, and then what they're saying is coming next. How compelling that is, their background, their history of accomplishment, all of those things kind of help.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Louis, you're up next. I'm going to unmute you. Have you got a question?
Yes, I do actually. What's your perspective on mindset? How do you feel that mindset, in relation to an entrepreneur? How big a role does having the right mindset plays?
I think it's the most important element. Absolutely, it is hands down the most important element. And there's a lot of characteristics to that mindset. One I've already mentioned is just being really driven, results oriented. I think a bias to action is very positive. A lot of startups die on the whiteboard, right? There's no way you're going to perfect it on the whiteboard. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how many advisors you consult with. The market is going to tell you what the answer is. So get into the market. Like, not, it's fine. Yes, of course, think about it, be thoughtful, build a strategy, but really as early as you can, start testing all of your hypotheses in the market and listen. And that's also a failure mode often in mindset is founders that are blindly committed to their methodology. I want them to be very driven for their impact and outcomes, but not overly attached to the business model. Because I would say this, and this I've seen at all the startups I've ever worked with. The only thing that you know for sure about a business plan of a pre-seed startup is that it's wrong. There's no way that it is correct. It's just not possible. It's like the first airplane built is not a 747. There's no way that you're going to figure all of that out on a whiteboard. You have to test various models, optimize, iterate. So that kind of reception to feedback, willingness and eagerness to learn. There's a balance of kind of almost arrogance, like overconfidence, because you're still willing to do something that's almost impossible. So you have to believe that you're going to succeed against the odds. So there's that level, but at the same time, a real humility, because the reality is even the most successful founders are going to fail 180 times in each stage of that process. And they have to be willing to accept that failure, dust themselves off, get back up, and just keep moving again. We were laughed out of some meetings early on for Mass Challenge. And I mean, there's no need to be mean as a mentor or advisor, but they were right. Like our plan was stupid. There was elements of it that were really impossible and foolish and naive. And it's hard when you're putting your heart and soul into something to have somebody laugh at it and tell you this is stupid. It's not going to work. Get out of my office. I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's hard, but you got to go back and say, all right, I think they're right. That part doesn't make sense. Let's try to fix it. So you got to have that humility as well. So all those things fall under that mentality. I think it's absolutely critical.
I have to say, we've got incredible gems from you tonight, John. I mean, from focusing on the brand versus the spokesperson, to having an unreasonable attachment to the outcome, to demonstrating the passion and articulating tangible goals and getting meetings and use of funds with specific metrics, to really my favorite. Just know that what you've already got on the whiteboard is wrong, but you're going to get it down. You're going to figure it out, and it's going to be phenomenal. So tremendous advice for all founders. I don't care if this is your first or your fifth business. Those are brilliant things to remember. I have a specific question about where you're going now. I mean, when you left Mass Challenge, you went off and had to do something that you may not have done before or had to figure out along the way. How has it been as a founder, building a fund, and at the same time, while you're building that fund, building the pipeline for your new VC, Two Lanterns?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, this is why I love entrepreneurship. And I think anybody that has been a founder, it's like a disease. It's a positive disease, but it's like an infection. Once you're infected, you can't go back. I can never work for anybody else anymore. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to follow instructions. I'm not capable. So, I love the challenge of going from 0 to 1. That's the most fun part for me. And so with the fund, it was a completely new challenge. Obviously, same industry. I was working with startups before, but I never invested in startups. And so I didn't know a lot of the venture financing, just the nature of a fund, the way that you go about fundraising, the challenges to overcome. I had a great network, which helped a lot. So I went shopping with a lot of people that I knew and really admired early on, and I got a lot of early support before I had the plan down, and so I could share my early ideas, and they could tell me which part was foolish and which part was smart, and give me good advice early on. So I think it's nice to have some good friends that are smart, that can give you advice while you still look dumb, so that you can look smarter by the time you expand beyond that network into outsider folks beyond that. So that was very helpful for me. Fundraising, my timing was, I think, quite good, and my network is quite good in this area. So I had raised $10 million in the first 4 months, and then COVID hit right after we announced that it's officially a fund. We've raised our 10 million and we're going to go. And that it was scary at first, and a lot of money dried up because people were trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Right. But I think also pretty quickly people realized, and I realized, just like as was, I think AJ alluded to previously, the parallels with the financial crisis, that the best opportunities are born out of crisis. The most successful startups tend to be born immediately surrounding a period of crisis. The highest returning funds are launched in the immediate period surrounding a crisis. So recognizing this is an opportunity, because larger corporations fall back on their heels. They're not as nimble. They can't adjust quite as quickly. And startups are very nimble. They can come in and fill in the gaps, steal market share from the big players, but also create totally new markets that are born out of the crisis. And you see it in so many different industries that have popped up, either quadrupling in size very quickly, or just becoming brand new markets, and others that have struggled. So startups are really well positioned to address that. And so we realized it was a great time. I went back out, doubled down on fundraising. We closed over 25 million on a target of 20. So I was super happy with that. Then what got tough is, having gotten some of that funding, deploying it into startups. I love talking to startups. We have, 4 or 5 pitches every day. And that's part of my favorite thing. Deploying it, but at the same time as fundraising, deploying the capital, figuring out then also how to manage and help the startups in the portfolio. Right. I was a lone founder at the very beginning. I brought in a second partner. I'm now bringing in a third partner starting on Monday. So finding the partners, interviewing, people, and I would say venture capitalists are not famously the nicest people on the planet. Maybe I'm not trying to phrase that, but so encountered quite a lot of egos and difficult people, and I thought I might not find any partners, and just kept plugging away, and finally found 2 partners that I totally adore, really smart and great. So it's been fun.
Congratulations, John. Yay. And founders, excellent questions. I know folks will be coming back to this segment of our pitch to hear that again and again. This advice has been incredible pearls of wisdom. Any last thoughts, AJ, before I pop the founders out and bring Robert in?
Yeah, I think my last thought is what John said. At times there's a lot of opportunity during crises. And that's what a lot of founders need to understand. I've spoken to so many founders during the pandemic, and a lot of them were, to be honest with you, quite down. and seem defeated at times because there's so much uncertainty. And then I speak to other founders, and they're grabbing everything by the horns, and they're just pushing forward. And I see so much opportunity, and I'm so inspired by that. So let's keep it going, guys.
Excellent. So I'm going to pop the founders out. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us on this and asking such great questions of this extraordinary local hero that we have here. And John, we're going to pull you back in for the expert advice after each founder pitches. So I'll pop you into the green room, as we call it, and bring in Robert.
Wait, there's usually crowd noise. What's going on? I can't. There we go.
Let me get the banner. Let me get the clappers. Hold on. Let me just get Robert up here. Everybody, please meet Robert Hughes, the one and only, the man, as he has on Twitter. It's Robert the Hare. I mean, what is that handle that you have on Twitter?
I don't go on Twitter anymore. It's too toxic these days. But I think it's Rob the Hare Hughes. I don't know. But thank you, John, for the shout out at First Republic Bank, the premier bank for startups and for venture firms. And we love founders. So happy to be here. And we love Founders Live. Congratulations on 3 big years.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll have to send a bottle of bubbly to both of you this week. I'm so pumped for you. It's awesome.
Well, I just want to make sure everybody knows we are about to start. We're going to have 2 trivia questions, everybody. So, let's get everybody ready, because Robert loves to bring this and he loves to make sure that people win.
Yes.
So we're going to do 2 quick trivia questions now, right, AJ?
Yes. And then at the voting period, we're going to do another 3. Each winner gets $30 in Amazon gift card.
Right.
Or you get to choose between the Amazon gift card or Starbucks gift card. So
exciting. I just want to bring this up to the screen too, just to make sure everybody knows how to reach Robert and who he is, where he is, and that John is right. First Republic is a great bank and a great place and space for founders and startups. All right. We got to bring up that question number 1.
I was thinking about mixing them up, Andy, because I was like, I'm going to just switch these up. And then I remembered you got them going on the bottom. All right, question number 1. All right. This startup was part of Mass Challenge in its early days before it rebranded to a new name, Toro.
All right, everybody who's watching and been lurking. And
we did the music. I was going to beatbox. John's in the chat saying, I know. Of course you do, John.
we're not even having any pretend attempts out there tonight. Come on, folks.
Takes 8 seconds. All right, do we have any guesses?
Nothing. We've got nothing out there.
This was a hard one.
I said it was going to be hard.
Yes, you did.
Let me give them this hint. It's a competition in track and field.
Where you pass the baton on to the other participants of the team.
There you go. Pass the baton, track and field event.
Yeah, and you know what, Jennifer? I think they would have loved that over there in Mass Challenge if Uber had gone through their cohort for sure.
They would have been Green Lanterns if they'd had Uber in one of the early cohorts.
Would have been stunning, but we appreciate your participation. Do we shelve this for another time, AJ, or do we share?
Let's come back to it later.
Okay,
wow.
Someone might look at that. Such a bold move. Okay, everybody. Now, I'm sure you all saw this one. Go ahead, Robert.
All right. 2 weeks ago, this startup founded by the richest man in the world sent its first crew into space. So much I want to talk about that I can't say because it's being broadcasted live. But we have to talk about this in person. This one's full of content. That's the founder, Jennifer. not the
Bezos
company.
is the founder, but what's the name of the actual company?
Yeah. So he actually had a name for it, but so close, so warm.
It starts with a color. All right.
Ding, 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 ding,
There
ding,
you
ding,
go.
ding, ding.
There we go.
Yay.
Yeah.
So, Niet, do me a favor, shoot me an email. I know you're on YouTube, but you can find me on LinkedIn, Andy Lyons or Andy at Andy Lyons, and we'll make sure you get that Starbucks card, or as we say here in Boston, we'll get you the Starbucks card, okay? There we go. Perfect. All right. So we have done these first two questions just to warm you up. But when we vote for the crowd favorite, Robert, we're going to bring you back in. We're going to have 3 more gift giveaways, Starbucks gift card giveaways, with 3 more easier questions than that first one.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, the last 3 are super easy. I mean, but it sounds like the audience may need that Starbucks card because they're not on it tonight. They're not on it tonight. We gotta wait.
You're not fired up. You need some espresso going here, everybody.
Americano with an extra shot of espresso, and they'll be like me, ready to roll.
They got that summer vibe going right now, which is like, yeah, all right.
I feel that. All right. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay, Robert, thank you so much. All right, so this is when the things get really fun, everybody. We get started on our pitches. Let me go through some ground rules here with everybody so you can know how we work and how we groove. And in the meantime, you can see the 4 brands that are going to be pitching here. So the founder gets 99 seconds, and I cut him off or her off right at the 99 seconds. Then you, the audience, get 3 minutes to ask questions, probe deeper, bring in, show your smarty pants. Then we bring in our extraordinary expert panelist, the one and only John Hawthorne, and he gets 2 more minutes with the founder. And let me tell you, we all learned so much through the process between your questions and John's questions. It's amazing. We're going to rotate 4 times, go through all 4 founders, and then we get to vote for the crowd favorite. And then we have some more of a conversation. So you amazing audience, your role is so important in this process. Okay. So I just want to thank you for participating. And, I'm sitting there talking all that whole time. I forgot to add this to the stream. A quick recap. We have Tag Hawk, Reelevate, Elite Home Fitness, and Reserve pitching tonight. All right. So let me remove that from the screen, and I am going to add our first presenter. Hey, Mel, so great to have you. We love
Thank you, guys.
The female founder in the house. I'm going to pop AJ out while you're bringing in your deck.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah.
And please let me know in the chat if you guys can see me, if you guys can see the screen, okay?
Okay, and then you'll just pop it into full. Perfect. Yay.
Okay.
And
is it full now?
Yes, it's full now. Give me just a second, and
Awesome.
I am going to set you-know-who with the timer.
Okay. Let me know when to start, though.
Starting now.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mild, co-founder of Reserve. We replace single-use plastics with innovative, stylish, and sustainable products. We're tackling the single-use plastic trash problem because we believe that everyone can be the positive change, starting from yourselves and our consumptions. This is our first product, the reusable silicone straw. It has a dual hardness. That means it's softer at the top and stiffer at the bottom, so you can use it to stir the ice. There is no other brands like ours in the market that offer such high functionality at an affordable price. We started in Thailand in 2019 and expanded into the US market last summer. And we also launched our second product, which was the bubble tea or smoothie sized reusable straw, and had several collaborations with Keep Cup, Spot and Box, and Babson College and MIT. And we are working on our next product, which we plan to launch on Kickstarter later this year. It's going to be a collapsible cup. And all of this is made possible by our amazing teams. Our Reserve USA team comprises of members of diverse expertise. And since day one, we have received full support from my family business back in Thailand, SK Polymer, a leading mass manufacturer of rubber parts for medical device. That means all Reusable products are manufactured in world-class facilities using only the best materials. So thank you so much. And please scan here for our website, Facebook, Instagram, and Amazon links. And I'm happy to take any questions from you.
Excellent. Oh, and I just realized, congratulations. Thank you, Alexa. Off. Great job getting that all done in that short period of time. Oh, excuse me. I have to have a firm.
Okay.
And I apologize, everyone. I forgot to put up Miles' banner at the bottom. But okay, I'm going to bring AJ back into the room and put this there. Perfect. Thank you for that, Miles. Wow. How did you figure out pricing for pulling this together? What are you charging for it, and how is that working for you as far as cost of goods sold?
Pricing has been not too difficult for us because we can control a lot of the manufacturing process. So our cost of goods sold are about our gross margin are about 35% right now, but we are working on our B2C side. We are focusing a lot more on the B2C side of things because our B2B side is working really well. The cost of customer acquisitions on the B2B is really low. But the cost of acquisition for the B2C side is a little higher. So that's what we're tackling and working on for this year as well.
Starting now. Awesome. That's great. Do you have any questions? Oh, yeah. And AJ was putting that out too. Thanks, AJ. What is your question, AJ? I could go on forever, of course.
So you said your biggest channel is B2B?
It is the B2B is not our biggest channel yet. So what happened in 2020 for the past year was that 70% of our revenue actually came from B2C first, and then only 30% came from B2B. But we figured out that the net margin from B2B was actually more than the B2C, because for B2C, we had to do a lot of advertising. We paid Google and Facebook ads. So even though we want to, have our basic brochures and work mainly on B2C, the cost for that is higher. So that was what we learned from 2020. So for 2021, it's not that we're going to focus more on B2B, but like we're going to work on both things at the same time and really measure the metrics, and so that we know how to shift our focus from now onwards.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow. And, we were talking about this earlier in the roundtable. What happened that you woke up one day and said, I'm going to go solve this problem? You and your co-founder, what compelled you to do that?
My co-founder is actually my eldest sister back in Thailand. So I am from Thailand, and I just finished my MBA at Babson College this year. And so, thank you. And so we have been, as I said earlier in the pitch, our family business is a mass manufacturer of rubber parts for medical device. And so we've been doing OEM and mass production all along. We have never had any brand of our own. So the passion to have some brand of our own and combined with the fact that we just hate single-use plastics, and we just want to fix that problem, and we believe that we can fix it from the upstream, not just the downstream. If consumers consume less plastics, well, there will be less trash automatically. So it's so that's why we try to make any products replace single-use plastics.
Well, and I love that you have an intimate relationship with the manufacturer, just saying.
Absolutely.
We're going to
leveraging.
Yeah.
Leveraging our exact core competencies that we have.
I love that. We're going to leave you along with John, who's going to ask you some more brilliant questions. And AJ and I will pop out of the room and give you some time.
Great. Awesome. Hey, wonderful pitch and a brilliant idea. And I hope that you have the impact that you're seeking, because it's very meaningful. I had similar questions about the target customer, because it looked like more of a B2C sort of emphasis in what I had seen. But I was thinking B2B makes more sense in terms of selling in larger scale. So, maybe more complicated sales, but at higher volume, and therefore the net revenue. So that makes sense to me. What about in the business context? Do these survive a dishwasher? Do you have to clean them by hand? Because a restaurant would struggle to clean all the individual straws that way.
Yes. I am so glad you asked that, because I have them right here. This is our bubble tea reusable straw set. And each set comes with this cloth bag and the straws, as well as the cleaning brush right here.
Yeah.
Whoops. cleaning brush right here, and the instruction labels as well. And so it is dishwasher safe and BPA free, food grade silicone. So it fits well with the user's behavior. And then when I said B2B, a lot of times, a lot of our customers love to customize this logo to be their own brand, and like keep the straws the same so that they can.
That's actually a really interesting answer, that you could have restaurants that give them to their clients, to the guests to take home, even with the branding. Because I was wondering how it fits into the sort of, restaurants are fast moving places. This kind of chaos, and getting all the straws back into the dishwasher might be tough. But then that's a really nice statement of theirs, and they can be giving a gift, which is really great. That's clever. What about other competitor products? So I know you said like there aren't other straws that have the same exact qualities. What about some like biodegradable plastic straws that we're seeing, or these? I think the paper straws don't really work as well, and they tend to dissolve. But some of the biodegradable plastic ones seem to be getting pretty close to similar to regular straws. Or is that something that you guys are worried about or thinking about?
It is definitely something that's challenging right now, because it's related to consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is so much easier to just use single use and like throw it away, versus no matter, even though some of those like plant-based plastics or compostable plastics take so long to compose anyway, or some of them can't really biodegrade, but like it's so much easier for I'm much worried about the consumer behavior side versus the competitors out there in the market. And so right now we are really emphasizing on the fact that some of those products take so long to decompose, and or sometimes are not recycled properly, and it goes into the ocean anyway. So the best solution. For now, but the best way for now is to not use single-use items, which is going to be our reusable products. But then if we're talking about in the next 5 years or more than that, if we have super innovative plastics, we will look into changing.
Well, then it seems smart to seek out adjacency products, which it sounds like you've already done with the cup idea. So I think that's a smart idea, and to keep finding other newer products would be smart. That'll give you some durability.
The collapsible cup was actually requested from our customers as well, because they were like, we wanted to take the entire cup with us.
Listen to the market. The market will tell you the answer. Good stuff.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So congratulations. Wonderful pitch. Great questions. Thank you so much, Mild. I'm going to pop you into the green room along with John. Thank you so much, John. And we're going to bring Ning into the room, and Ning's going to pull up. You're going to pull up your pitch, Ning.
Yep. I'm sharing my.
I'll get your banner going.
Looks good. Let me know if you can see it.
I can. So, and you're going to put it into, here we go.
Okay. So
beautiful. Let me set the timer. I'm going to pull AJ out of the room and give me a second with.
One minute and 39 seconds. Starting now.
Hi guys, my name is Ning. I'm the founder and the CEO of TechHawk. So nowadays, people are buying and selling used products all the time, but there are two major pinpoints in this market. So the first one is the trust and safety concern. People are having a harder time to find the trustworthy person. It's really hard to build credibility between the buyers and the sellers when dealing with the public. And another really big pinpoint in the recent industry is the delivery problems. Many used items are affordable, but people are having a harder time to find affordable delivery solutions for the used items. So that's why I founded TechHawk. We are the first one community-based resale marketplace. So we resolve these two pinpoints by 4 different solutions. The first one is what we call tags. It's our core value. Tags are private buying and selling communities. We encourage users to buy and sell used products within communities like apartments, universities, or clubs. It's easier, safer, and most likely right next door to you. So on top of that, we also have a cashless payment, we have anonymous chat, and we have a built-in delivery service. And here's a glance of our products. It's really well designed and intuitive. So for consumers, it's a better way to buy and sell user products with someone familiar with. And we also offer additional service for the community manager. So for every transaction inside the community, the manager will be able to get a cut as well. So this will be function as a donation to help their operations. So for community, it's a new way to raise funds. So that's how it works. And from this chart, you can see compared to our competitors, we are the only one with a community focus. We're the only one with a group chat, and also we're the only one focusing on the delivery solutions. So that's what makes us unique. And right now we're raising for 500,000 K for our seed round to help us to expand our business. So this is TechHawk. We're a community for everyone. And we hope in the future, everyone can find their community on TechHawk. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was exactly 99 seconds.
Sounds great.
Woo!
Good job.
Phenomenal job. Really, really interesting. AJ, any questions?
Yeah, I think, Ning, my only question is, I think there's enormous value in the delivery component to your business model. Can you expand on that a little bit more and walk us through the user experience of the person that's doing the delivery and how it's not too much of a burden for that person?
I understand. So first of all, I have to clarify that this delivery service is an add-on service on top of our platform. So it's not our core value. We encourage users to buy and sell within communities. For example, we encourage you to buy and sell furniture with your neighbors, in the same apartment. So in this way, it can avoid the transportation. So there is no transportation needs at all. But just in case you want to shop outside of your community, we connect users with local movers, whoever owns a truck in Boston, and who want to get some extra cash in their spare time. So we partner with them. Whenever the user has a demand to deliver their products or pick up their items, they can just press a button, call a truck. Similar experience to Uber, but for pickup owners. So there's a truck will come by and drop your items to your front door. That's the experience.
Interesting.
Wow. And what's your biggest milestone today? Like what that you're really, really proud of?
Well, I have to say, since we launched the products by the end of 2019, we have over 100,000 downloads with over 60,000 registered users. And we also built more than 100 communities on our platform. We partner with different communities like University, Northeastern, Syracuse, Florida State, and with different clubs, sport club, and mass golf organization. And we also partner with a lot of apartments like the Doban Company, etc. So I would say that's the most product thing we have.
I'm thinking, and what about because it seems like you in the youth community, what about the elder community? I was just curious.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The elder community. So you've got the 55 plus communities. I'm just wondering, sometimes they like to downsize or offload or declutter.
Well, I'm not quite understand what do you mean by the elder community,
yeah, older folks, because right now it looks like your communities are for young, but lots of folks who are 55 or older are really hip and like to move product and participate in something like this. So I just didn't know if you were going to branch out into different communities.
Yeah, of course. I mean, basically, everyone can build a community on platform. So we have different communities set up by different organizations or different populations. So elder person, of course, will be one of our major customers because they have a lot of stuff in their room, in their closets they want to get rid of. So in the future, we may consider to advertise to the older people specifically. Maybe some older organization can help them to set up the community to help them to buy and sell user products. I would say that's a big potential.
Awesome. So we have Joseph Chan here saying, how is this going to compete with Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, so compared to them, we're the only one with a community focus. So if you ever want to buy and sell products, you want to find a new furniture for your new room inside your apartments, or you want to, let's say, sell your golf equipment to your club members if you belong to any sort of golf club, we're the only place with a community concept. So that's why we're unique. We're the community-based marketplace. And also, we're the only one with a group chat. So just in case you want to talk to your community fellows, send a group message to everyone else, we're the only place to go. And lastly, we're also the only one with a delivery solution. So we're working on this delivery network right now. So in the future, we plan to launch this feature really soon.
Excellent. I'm going to bring John into the room. I know he's got some more questions for you. AJ and I will step out so that you can get the full attention. Good luck.
Awesome, then. Great job. Really interesting concept. And I think there's a lot of value in it. I love this idea. You're reducing travel, delivery, complexity, logistics, and I agree, increasing trust. In particular, I would think like universities are a very logical place to start. You've got, a quarter of the school graduating each year that wants to unload some stuff that's really relevant to that same incoming audience. So you've got a lot of opportunity for trade and sale there. So that's very clever. Though I guess a couple of my concerns or questions, how you're going to address some challenges. One of the challenges of these smaller community-based groups is just inventory availability and demand availability, right? If you're selling a really old record player and there's 100 million users in that network, somebody will want to buy it. If it's only 100 users, less likely to find a buyer. Yep. How are you thinking about kind of optimizing for matching within these smaller communities?
Yeah, so first of all, one user can belong to multiple different communities, so it can increase your exposures. And I also want to clarify that we not only have the community, but we also have a space called open market, which is similar to any other platforms that everyone can see it. So it's not a limitation for the community, but it's more like an additional option for you. So that's what it makes more sense.
I like that. That makes sense. And then, so if you have something nearby, you can prioritize that, but you could also have something shipped in.
Yes,
and I also like this idea that you brought up of transportation kind of between the hubs almost, right? You might have, 5 universities on it. Somebody at Babson wants something that is at Yale, and there's a freelancer that can just bring it back and forth stuff between the two communities. So that also helps. What about how are you doing customer acquisition? Who sets up the community, and how are you finding them and promoting growth?
Oh, good question. For the online part, we use mainly Facebook advertisement or Instagram advertisement, which is cost-effective and straightforward. We also use email marketing, etc. But for the offline part, which is our unique marketing strategy, is also another advantage we have that Craigslist or Facebook doesn't, is we partner with different communities. Like I mentioned before, we allow the community manager to take a commission fee from every internal transaction, so which will function as a donation to help their operations. So that's what makes us unique. So we will talk to them, we will pitch to them, say, hey, we have this wonderful platform. Do you want to register your organization on our platform so you can get some donations, and also your members have a better way to buy and sell user products? Most of them will just say yes. That's how we partner with different apartments, different clubs, especially for interest club. A lot of them are non-profit organizations, so they need extra resource for donations and for revenues. So that's how we help them to generate new revenues and help them to operate.
Great, really clever. A couple. I think we're out of time probably, but a couple of quick thoughts. Parting. So one is to, and don't get too distracted too early on, but consider borrowing as an option, right? Like maybe I just want to borrow a lawnmower or borrow a bicycle, not buy it. And that could be an interesting addition in the platform. And then I had another thing, but I have forgotten it. But I love the donation angle, so I'll just mention that I think is very clever for the nonprofit. So kudos.
Great job. Thank you so much, Ning. Thank you so much, John. We're going to pop you guys out, and we'll get on to the next one. I like to move quickly on these. We're going to bring John up. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, you're not ready. Sorry. It's Louis that's next. Sorry. Here we go. Louis. Jeez. What's the matter with me? I know. Let me just get the right banner. I have no idea. I got ahead of myself here. Louis, are you going to start having us do exercises?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm going to start doing. That's why I'm up right now. As you can see, I'm not sitting down. I'm standing up. So I might just do it.
Oh, here we go, AJ. I'm feeling my heart rate go up already.
I kind of need it, though.
Okay, I'm going to remove AJ. Hold on for 1 second.
1 minute and 39 seconds. Starting now.
All right.
Go.
Am I live?
You're live and ready to glow. Go make it happen.
All right, awesome. My name is Mendanzo. I'm the CEO and founder of Elite Home Fitness. Elite Home Fitness is currently Boston's largest in-home personal training company. And what we do, we send personal trainers to come right to your home or corporate office to create the perfect program for you and train you at your time and schedule. Really simple, okay? Like I said about us, our trainers will come directly to you. They'll create customized workouts for you, and they'll execute those workouts at your time and your schedule. Pretty much we focus on three main things when it comes to our service. One is convenience. No need to waste your time going to a gym no more. Our trainers come to you. The other one is customized. So all the programs that we create for you is customized specifically for your fitness goals and your body type. And we try to bring a lot of fun aspect to it in order to make the workout always exciting. This is how it works when it comes to working with us. It's really simple. You book your consultation, you pick your package, and then right after that, you'll partner with one of our trainers that will come directly to you at your time and your convenience and pretty much train you. In relations to fitness, we cater for every single aspect of fitness, everything from some functional mobility to group training to yoga, to senior citizen fitness, to youth fitness, anything that has to do with fitness, chances are we have the staff in order to cater to it. We have three different programs for when it comes to working with us. Clients either sign either a 3 months, a 6 months, or a 12-month program. And those programs are built out on a month-to-month basis.
Nice.
We also have a couple programs that also allow couples to work together. This is just some of the testimonies in relations to what clients been saying when it comes to working out with Elite.
And there you go.
Awesome.
Yep, and this is great because we have time with more questions, and you've got your call to action there for folks to reach out to you. AJ, any questions?
Yeah. Good job, Louis. I know you ran out of time at the end, but hopefully some of the questions, some of the items get addressed in the questions. I think my question is, so from what I know from the fitness industry, there's a lot of churn when it comes to memberships, and I see you have 3 month, 6 month, 12-month plans. What's the churn like when it comes to the personal trainers in your staff? How many staff do you have, and how do you mitigate churn on the staff level? Because for me, I would get personally attached to my trainer, right? And if that trainer leaves, that impacts how I feel about your brand, and I'd have to kind of start all over with a new trainer. So how do you mitigate that churn? What are you doing about that?
No, totally. In relations to that, we're very forward when we go over our programs with clients. We do let them know that we don't assign them any specific trainer. And we also understand the relationship between clients and trainer. And that's something that we really take a lot of pride in relations to the two relationship. We make sure that our trainers are happy. We make sure that our trainers also are growing within the company, and they also have other opportunities to grow within the company, so they're more likely to stay long term.
Great. Joseph Chan, back again with a great question. Thank you, Joseph. How are you going to scale this, and what do you consider is your moat?
Yeah, totally. So in relations to scalability, so what we're looking for are personal trainers that pretty much want to go to different areas in terms of territories throughout the country and open up their own Elite franchise or their own Elite partnership under the Elite umbrella. The model we already have in place in relations to training, client acquisition, sales, marketing. These are all things that I spent over 3 years perfecting. The company has seen positive revenue growth since year one. We've been in business for 3 years, and throughout those 3 years, we've done over $900,000 in revenue.
Wow. Tell me about the van.
Yeah, totally, totally. The van is what makes it exciting, actually. So inside these vans here, there's all the equipment that you find in the gym. So all of these equipments are portable. We have your dumbbells here, as you can see here. They're all portable. We have resistant bands. These are all things that you'll find in the van. We have kettlebells. And in relations to this, it's very simple. Trainer shows up to your house, pulls out a kettlebell. Let's say that's part of your workout regimen. They get a little space to set up, and pretty much they just train you.
Wow.
Done training you, they pack up, and then they leave on to the next client.
Another quick question from Joseph. What's your net margin? And then we'll bring John in.
Yeah, totally. So our net margin is about 75%. So we split 75% between company and trainer. Trainers get 70%. Trainers get 30%, companies get 70%.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to bring John in. AJ and I are going to hop out. So you have a few moments to go deeper into your business model. Great job, Louis.
Yeah, great job. Very cool concept and very timely for this era. What's and Joseph asked some great questions. He covered some of mine already. Tell me about a little bit about like how do you guys address liability issues? You've got you're sending your trainers into other people's homes. Either side could argue there was some level of assault or inappropriate behavior. Somebody could get injured in their own home. Maybe it's not as well designed for fitness. It's not as large enough room, et cetera. Are you guys taking out insurance policies? Are you signing away? Are the customers signing away some rights, or how do you handle those?
Yes, so we do have an insurance policy that does cover liability damaging on the training end. In relations to the trainer, we take a lot of pride in making sure that we background the trainer, we check the trainer, we make sure that the trainer, it's a great fit overall. In relations to the clients do sign a waiver that does protect us from liability. But at the same time, we understand, the business that we are in relations to liability. So we do have a huge insurance policy that do cover us in any sense of liability issues. But like I said, these are things that we try to fix internally really, really fast when situations like that do arise, meaning if it's we try to prevent it by making sure that the trainer that we do have on board is a trustworthy individual that we could send to someone's home, and they could they could train that person, and it can make that person feel comfortable. I have a rule, before I hire a trainer, if I don't trust that trainer with my 4-year-old daughter, chances are I'm not going to bring that person on the team.
That makes sense. That's good policy. Are the trainers full-time employees? Are they contractors? What's the relationship between them? And do you cover benefits, et cetera? Or are they just on a get paid by the hour type of?
No, totally. So in relations to the trainers, they're all 1099 contracts per session that they service. They get paid for that session.
That's great. What so other I guess lastly, just very quickly, how do you handle scheduling? That seems like that could be a complicated area with people trying to get the same trainer multiple days, moving things around. Have you put a lot of money into a scheduling app? Are you outsourcing that app, or how's that work?
So the app right now is currently outsourced. What we're using is MindBody, which pretty much runs the platform for all the gyms. The scheduling is really simple. Clients can either book right from their phone. The trainer gets the notification. It goes right to their schedule. It also comes to the company. Also, the trainer could book the client right after a session just to make sure that they schedule are not getting jammed up. At the same time, too, the client could always call the company, the 877 439 number, and we'll go ahead and we'll book that client on the schedule with the trainer.
Great. Good stuff. Sounds like you're doing really well. Congrats on the growth and the revenue. Nice job.
Yay. Congrats. Great pitch. Great everything. All right. Good job with standing up and everything.
I have to stand up. I'm in fitness. It's only right. I sit down. It's only right.
So good. All right. Thank you, John, for the great questions and insights. We all learned from that. All right. Now, John, here we go. Bring you up. You're for reals this time.
I know you scared me the first time.
I
was
know.
surprised.
I was just like, oh, he looks like,
I wasn't
"What?"
ready. But Lewis is making me want to stand up, but I'm not going to. Don't worry.
Great, great, great. We're excited to hear your pitch. I'm going to pop AJ out. I'm going to set the time.
1 minute and 39 seconds. Starting now.
Go, baby.
Hi, everyone. I'm John. We're Reelevate, event experiences that engage. And many of you have tried to plan events, and we focus on events that are under 100 people for corporations. And when you try to do that, it's challenging with multiple vendors. Communications and phone or email, validation and trust is usually non-existent, and then transparency, where are things? It's always hard to know. But 12% of B2B budgets are focused on actually planning and organizing events, and 82% of those marketers believe that attendee engagement is the most important KPI. And so our opportunity is that we're going to create a platform that scales your event workflow, where we improve the quality and engagement of your events while reducing time spent planning the events and increasing engagement, which leads to better results. So our solution is a technology platform, a marketplace that automates the full cycle of event planning for micro events. We have over 150 events today where you can go and book them instantly. You can then personalize the event. You can then manage the event, so you can see all the invites, the shipments. You can see all the different components, and then you get the data back if people like the event, so we can tie ourselves to the ROI, whether it's a client engagement event or an internal event where they want to measure employee satisfaction. Our current traction, we've done almost 100 events in July. HubSpot, Microsoft, RSM have all done almost 10 events. And right now we're at a $1.5 million run rate, looking to be around 9 million by the end of the year. And what our ask is we're looking to raise between 2 and 2.5 million. We've raised 1.5 of our seed round to date, which is led by Lightbank, but looking to finalize that over the next couple of weeks.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. 100 events in July, John.
We had, today was our biggest event day. We did 14 events today.
Wow. Congratulations. When did you launch?
We launched last October.
Wait a minute. You're talking October 2020?
Yes.
Way to hit the ground running.
Thank you.
Had you built up relationships with all these folks beforehand to start the ball
Customers?
rolling?
No.
Yeah.
No, we started in October. We're up to 8 team members now. So we're really ramping. It's fun.
18 team members or
8 team members, not 18. We'll be at 18 hopefully by the early next year.
okay. So, and when you launched, was it you and?
It was myself and my co-founder, who actually, his name's Jason. He went through a mass challenge back in 2010. So he and I had been talking about this for a couple months and launched a Wix site and started to sell out of presentations and convinced RSM and Thrasio and other really big companies. And when we had experience doing this in the past, where our background was out of e-commerce and managing lots of different vendors and aggregating all of that. So we are setting up a platform / marketplace to scale this rapidly.
Still, that's a lot of traction in a short period of time. While I catch my breath over hearing that, AJ, have you got any questions? Oops, you're on mute. Here we go. Unmute.
Sorry about that. John, you mentioned a little bit about your background. Can you expand on that a little bit more about just like some of the pain points you experienced with events in the past and how it kind of inspired you to launch this venture?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so this is actually my 4th startup. The first one I did was a cooking thermometer that connected to your iPhone, and we ended up selling that to Weber Grills. So if you have a Weber Grill, it's built into your Weber Grill now. The second one was called the Grommet, which was an e-commerce company in Boston, and we scaled that. I was the CFO and VP of operations. And one of the big aha moments was I always wanted to do things with my team, but I had a dispersed team. Some people were virtual, some people were physical, and I could never do anything with them other than awkward happy hours or lunches. And so trying to find a solution, once things started to actually happen with COVID, where virtual really became a big thing, was a huge aha moment for me of like, oh, there's a ton of white space here where we can productize events, whether it's virtual events or physical events. We can productize events so it's really simple to book them, versus where we see a lot of competitors today, like a Kapow or even an Event Up, where they're venue first. We're like, book your venue. And it's like, I don't want a venue. I want a solution. I want to go axe throwing, or I want to go to improv asylum with my client or with my team versus another steak dinner. So that's a lot of the differentiation that we have and what we saw of where we think that customers want to go. And we've been getting a really great response.
Awesome.
That's
good job.
Any other questions there, AJ? I'm still just soaking it all in. And I can see how your background certainly led you and prepared you uniquely for this opportunity. So when you hit the ground running, you weren't, trying to figure things out as a first-time founder. You had a lot of the pieces in place, but
say
still,
it would have been really hard to do this at 25. And I think that part of that was really being able to tap people in my network to convince them to come work for me.
Yeah.
And for us. I mean, I'm not a software engineer. I couldn't build the platform myself. So having 3 really strong engineers on our team now, I mean, is a godsend. I mean, we wouldn't be here without that. And yet we continue to build that team out we have to motivate them. So if somebody had asked the question of what are some of the small things as far as traction early on, when you're early on, it's convincing other people to kind of believe in your idea and work with you.
And you nailed that. And I think that's something that folks, watching, lurking, because nobody's asking any questions. Come on, audience. You usually have a ton of questions. Let's go. But that's something that we can all learn from too, is that you took this lived experience that you had with your other ones. We already know Grommet and have fond memories. Oops, Alexa off. But you were able to then say, okay, I really know how to bring this vision to life and get people really excited and behind it. So congratulations on that. Very, very exciting. I'm going to bring John into the room. AJ and I are going to pop out. Have a good conversation, you guys.
Thanks.
Great. Good to see you again, John. So we've obviously spoken before, and I've asked some of these questions. So I know the answer to this one, but I think it's helpful for you to share it with the audience. It'd be interesting to talk a little bit about where you see developing a moat and kind of defensibility. And I think this, there's not a huge barrier to entry to launching this type of product. So there are other competitors out there. How do you sustain advantage and make it grow and not fall prey to the many competitors?
Yeah, and I think that when we think about this, there's really 2 moats that we have to create. We have to create a moat around supply, and we have to create a moat around demand. And the way that we're going to do this is phase 1 is really this kind of post-booking, because to have a site and sell events, like you said, is actually, we bought off-the-shelf software to be able to do that. It's not complicated. It's not challenging, and signing up a couple of vendors is not hard. But what is hard is really what happens after you book, and automating all of those workflows, capturing all that information and that data, and really making your customers' lives substantially easier. So they want to come back to you and keep buying with you, and they wouldn't want to go to one of those competitors. So that's kind of phase 1 of that mode. Phase 2 of that mode is once we start really working with these larger enterprises have other complex problems, like, can they centralize spend? Do they want controls and budgets around what people are spending, who they're working with? A lot of small independent hosts can't just go to a Microsoft and work with them. There's a huge laborious vendor process. So we can open that up to larger organizations and do 2 things. One, create somewhat of that mode on the supply side, where we can open up larger entities for smaller vendors. But on the customer side, we're locking them in, but with an enterprise contract. And that way, then we can own all of their event spend by providing them a value add platform where they can get some of those features. On the supply side, we want to make their lives so easy that they want to adopt us on their website and let us power their corporate booking of their site, because they don't enjoy fielding questions all day long through their website. They enjoy doing events, which is why they do that. But so if we can take that pain away and make it more economical for them, they're not going to want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. So a lot of what you're doing is helping these businesses to automate processes that otherwise would be manual or involve numerous different vendors and complicated processes. What is the hardest part for you to automate? Are there still parts, it's always takes some time to get fully automated. Are there still steps in your processes that are still manual and really difficult to get down into fully automated? What's the meaning there that's tough?
I think you know the answer to this question, but I mean, we went from essentially having a Wix site where everything was manual, there's nothing automated, to now we have a site that we can kind of organize and book things in a way that kind of makes it more organized, but still behind the scenes, we're not fully baked yet. So it's still a lot of Band-Aid and duct tape, but our customers don't know that. And so you have to make choices along the way of, like, where are you going to fake it and where are you going to do things really well? And for us, to be able to show traction, we needed to get customers, and to get customers, we needed to have a really great looking website. So that's where we devoted a lot of our energy, which allowed us to scale from 30K in bookings to almost 100K in 1 month from May to June. But now we have to build out the automation because it's hard for us to scale beyond that without the automation of the back end. And that's what we're launching in the next couple of weeks. So then we can go from a $1.5 million run rate to a $10 million run rate relatively easily.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, kudos on the great growth. Well done.
Thanks, John.
And look who's here, AJ. Riaz.
Riaz.
He's saying, I will definitely give your platform a try for some of my future events with my team. And boy, does Riaz, I want to be on Riaz's team. They go everywhere and do fun things.
I do have to give a shout out to 2 of our top hosts are Improv Asylum in Boston and also May in Boston as well.
Nice.
Those both are very popular, and we're actually piloting. We're going to start piloting physical in September and October in Boston, which will be great.
Thank you. My extrovert nature is like needing my batteries recharged. It's been really hard. Okay, well, I'm going to pop you guys out, and then we're going to do our vote for our crowd favorite, everybody. And while you all are voting for the crowd favorite, we're going to do 3 more trivia questions and give away some more Starbucks cards with Robert if I see him come back. So, but thank you, John. Great presentation, and congratulations on your tremendous traction today. That's really, really remarkable and wonderful to see. And John, great questions. See you guys soon.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so AJ, let me bring up the slide. Hold on. It's coming.
This is gonna be tough this month. Every month it's tough, but this.
We say that every time.
I know.
But let me just go ahead and I will put the link in. Let me bring up the banner and I'll put the link into the. I have it here. I know I do. Here we go. Oh, nope. Sorry. Lost it. Here we go, everybody. AJ, you can talk about how to vote for crowd favorite, and I'll pop the voting link into the comment section.
So folks, very, very simple. You are going to just scan the QR code with your mobile device. It'll take you straight into the Founders Live voting form. It'll just ask you for your name and to register. And then you just select the startup you feel had the perfect pitch this evening. Hit submit, and we'll be good to go.
Okay, and I think I see Robert. I'll be right there, Robert. I'm just typing in this new favorite. Okay, hold on. There we go.
The QR, yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to put that up for just a second, everybody. Hi, Robert.
Well, hello.
Also, Andy, can you show the QR code on the screen?
Absolutely. Here it comes, folks. Add to string. There we go.
Boom.
Boom. So thank you, AJ. Let's get going with our questions. We've got several more to go. We're going to start off with question 3. Robert, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Yeah.
So.
Clearly.
This fashion startup originally founded at MIT was part of Mass Challenge, is famous for having science-backed approach to clothing and unique fabrics.
Ooh, here we go, folks. Come on. You know you want that Starbucks card and you want to be a winner.
This is easy.
I know, but it might trip people up if we have like a non-Boston audience.
But clothing is clothing. I mean, this is a very hip brand.
And these guys they have a location in New York City, a location in DC, location in Boston, retail, brick and mortar. They, during the pandemic, they created thousands of masks that was like printed with like these machines, like instantly printed, and donated to like Brigham and Women's. They had a huge campaign around that. It was 3D printed. Yeah, 3D printed mask. The technology they were using was just unbelievable.
But, you know, most of our folks who tune in are from Boston. I have a feeling, though, they are on vacation tonight.
Has nobody answered? Nobody's taking a shot at it?
Nobody's even taking a shot at it. No, we're going to
do they need me to beatbox? I'm not going to beatbox.
Okay.
I was thinking about it. I got this close.
Yeah. I think we're going to shelf this, AJ, and just, okay, Riaz is here. Shall I bring him up, AJ?
Oh, yeah.
Way to
you
go,
got it.
Riaz.
I think I got that down.
All right, Riaz. I will get you that Starbucks card, okay?
I'll put money on that as a side bet, Andy. That's probably raised.
They start off as Ministry of Supply, and then they kind of rebranded to Ministry.
To Ministry, yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool. I'm hip with it.
Here comes the next question while everyone's voting.
This new social app funded by Andreessen Horowitz reached 1 billion valuation before even officially launching on the Android version. I think they'll lose a lot of users. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've had a huge drop off. Gee, so too bad, so sad. Oh, did I say that? But they had, great plan, and they did the, the private handshake, the private, here you go.
Yeah.
Code to get into the room. I'm giving a bunch of hints. Come on, we've got some viewers watching.
People know what this is. They just added a chat function in the app too. So somebody hit me up on that. I was like, what is this now? And there's a chat function because I need one more chat function.
Yeah, so that you can talk amongst yourselves.
The good thing is no one slides into my DMs either, so it's totally cool to have a chat function. There you go. Joseph, you are on top of it, my man. Joseph Chan.
Okay, question 4 goes to Joseph Chan. Joseph, you're on YouTube right now. Find me on LinkedIn. All right, connect with me there or ping me, Andy at andylyons.com. I want to get you that Starbucks card, okay? Congratulations. Yay. Winner. All right, so let me go. Final question of the evening.
This term describes a revenue model when you give your basic product away for free and then you try to upsell other features to your customers. We're going to get this one really fast. I think, would anybody else on this panel, just the two of you, I guess, would either of you pay for a social media that didn't advertise to you? Like if they're like, look, it's $5.99 a month, but we'll never have advertisements. I would be like, I'm in. Because I swear to God, what I was doing when I came over, when I turned my camera back on, I was buying some apparel because it popped up on my feed and I was like, honey, do you want some of these? And she's like, yeah. I spend so much money because of Instagram. Apparel. I was paid.
It's like, wow, I've never seen that before. I bet that would work great. Fill in the blank. So good.
Take that idea and run with it, please. I need a social media that I pay for and that doesn't advertise to me.
Yeah, and anybody who has a subscriber-based business, this is key. All right, Karen, you're a winner. Freemium.
Awesome.
All right, Karen, you're tuning in via YouTube, so please find me. I'm writing your name down, but also, and I'll try to find you, but again, Andy at andylyons.com or find me, Andy Lyons, on LinkedIn, and we'll connect and I will get you that Starbucks card. Congratulations. Thank you for that, Karen. Woo woo. Oh my gosh. Let me just pop her off there. Whew. Okay. We got some winners here.
How's the voting coming? How are we looking?
Voting. Let's check.
AJ will bring it in. Robert, what about you? You going on vacation?
I just got back. I was in the Outer Banks for 2 weeks with the fam.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a blast. Oh my God.
Excellent. You didn't lose anybody to the riptide?
No, it was ripping though. Whoa.
Yeah, did they have to close the beach at any time?
No.
Oh,
but it was ripping. I mean, it knocked me off my feet a couple times.
Listen, I've been there with young kids, the kind that crawl and want to be taken away at Outer Banks. So I know how crazy it can be with those waves, and even worse when they close the beach because of the riptides.
There was no day drinking with our two little boys. We were like, okay, eyeballs on the boys at all times. Like it was like there was no nonsense happening. That riptide was serious.
It is serious business. 1 minute you're there, next minute you're down like 10 miles. How we doing, AJ?
It's very close. We're gonna give it another 15 seconds, but
Okay.
there's one person that's kind of running away with it right now.
All right, that's what we like to see. Hey, AJ, what's it like being the only person at WeWork?
Right now, right now, shots fired. Shots fired. It's actually,
I had to do it. Somebody had to do it. I've been in a WeWork recently. There's nobody there.
there's no one there. No,
there's nobody there. You're the safest place in America. WeWork in Boston.
Hey, I get to like, dance around and make as much noise as I can, and I get some team members here. So
Do you have to book the conference room and there's literally no one else there? No, you just walk right in. You're like, this is my conference room now. Like every desk is a float desk.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let me type it in, and Robert, you could do the honors.
Do you want me to do the drum roll? Oh, you're gonna type it into the chat?
Yep. Type it into the private chat. The winner is, press enter, boom.
Reelevate. Oh, John, my boy John. Come on, John. Come on, John.
Give Robert a shout out too. We are a First Republic Bank customer, and they've done events with us too. So I'm
wow,
happy about that.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
John, and to the team.
Thank you.
Great.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to bring in the other John.
The other John.
First time he's been called the other John.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably used to it too. I've had classrooms with 5 other Johns in them.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
That's
has
right up there with Matt.
Somebody's Johnny, Jonathan, John 1, John 2. You get all different. So
Yeah.
all used to it.
JHJC. But first of all, I just want to say to Mild and Ning and to Lewis, come on. It was so great. You were in there. You gave us your best. Really good job on the pitches. Really good. Now, though, we are going to leave John H. and John C. for another, couple of minutes of conversation and questions. We always learn when the expert asks the founder questions. So get ready to take notes and get ready to grow. All right.
Yeah, and not only questions, but also, John, give John a little bit of advice based on what you know so far about his industry, about his business model. Poke some holes here and there, but give him some golden nuggets that he could leave with.
I have to say this too. There's 2 First Republic guys here. You know what I mean? There's like a venture capitalist, there's a First Republic guy. There's John, the winner of tonight's contest, First Republic.
Mass Challenge also uses First Republic, so we've been for a long time.
Well, I had your logo on my slide. I mean, I actually that's on that slide every time. But
Okay, so John, I just took a picture. Okay, so you can show management. Okay, evidence.
And Rob, next time First Republic needs to sponsor some kicks for the winner on your background there.
I may or may not have been buying more shoes when I came off camera. We're not going to talk about it. I have a problem.
All right.
My name is Robert.
I've
gone 2 months now without buying any shoes.
No, that's not true.
Okay. All right. We're going to pop you out. Okay. All right. AJ and myself.
All right. Hey, congrats, John. Great job.
Thanks. Yeah, this was great.
I mean, I think you nailed a lot of the stuff that's really key here is building out these moats on both sides of the equation. I think, so that's probably my key piece of advice is just keep doing that. And I know you're going to have to do some of this stuff manually for a bit. You're right that you got to figure out how to automate all of that eventually. But Desh Deshpande has been one of my longest serving advisors and friends, and he's maybe the wisest person in the Boston ecosystem or the startup ecosystem globally. And he's given me a lot of great advice. And that was one of the great pieces of advice was to think about your startup like you're driving through the desert, right? And you've got a couple of stops where there's like a gas station along the way. And all you really, really need to care about is get to the next gas station. Because if you don't make it, you're going to die in the desert, right? And if you're almost going to make it, but you got to rip some doors off, you got to push the car for a little bit, right? Then you got to do it because that's how you get there. And you want to have a long-term goal, of course, but don't worry too much about stage 3 while you're on stage 1. So like, I think to your point, you got to do some stuff manually. You just got to make it look pretty because that's what's necessary now. And then next stage, you can figure that the next parts out.
Yeah, and thanks for the compliment on the kind of the focus on the Moat. And I mean, that's been, I mean, I just would say this to the other founders too. I mean, I've probably had 30 to 50 conversations with VCs at this point, and the first couple were terrible. I mean, they were giving me the feedback that you received early on, which is, you haven't really thought this all the way through yet. And they were right. I didn't really know who our customer was. We had started out in November and December thinking like, it's an event planner with an event planner title. And that's just not our customer today. It's this event planner by default, and they have various other titles. But it changes significantly of how you think about it as it evolves and through more. And frankly, it's really great when they push you on it, when they ask you those competitive moat questions of like, how are you thinking about solving this for 3 or 4 years in the future versus just today? And today is like, okay, we need to do some events, but 6 years from now, everybody can do that. And how are you going to be differentiated to really create a $1 billion company?
Yeah, that's totally right. I mean, famously, YouTube started off as a dating site, right? So, pivots are normal and natural. They don't have to be that extreme, but it's going to happen. So anticipate that and pivot your way through and just talk to lots of people, get lots of feedback. So that's great. So you're raising some money right now. Sounds like you're almost there. What are your first priorities once you get the rest of the funding in the door? Where are you going to spend that? Team, tech? What's the next big investment?
So we've already kind of laid out the tech in the sense of like, really, we're building most of it proprietary ourselves. So we've ramped up our engineering team. The 2 next hires that we would make would be a product person and a marketing hire. And we're most likely going to make those after the next 6 weeks. We have this kind of sprint to get these big 3 apps out, and then we can really kind of reset and say, okay, do we want to make this hire now, or are we going to wait a couple of weeks? Ultimately, we'll make them both before the end of the year.
Yeah.
If we raise the additional money, we'll most definitely make that higher in the 6 weeks. If we don't raise the money, then we'll have a little bit of a debate of how big do we want to go for Q4, because our goal is really to be at a $10 million run rate in December, which there is going to be some seasonality in this. Think about how many holiday parties there are in December, but we want to be out raising our A off of that. So which we're going to have to kind of be back in market, I'd say October, to start those conversations to be ready for December, to then raise off of 10, which would put us at I mean, you tell me, but 30, 40, $50 million valuation. So we're raising.
Yeah, generally speaking, you can assume you're selling roughly 20% of the company at each round. So, multiply your raise by 5, and that's at least a reasonable starting point for the valuation, especially early on. Later on, metrics will define it and revenue and other stuff. But in the early rounds, there's no metrics. The market is unknown. So you got to kind of guesstimate it.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see who's really digging in what ways. I mean, almost everybody's asked for a cohort analysis to really understand the metrics and the purchase behavior already. Some people try to take it a step further and be like, give me the whole business model. And it's like, okay, but like, it's going to change. I mean, it's just like, how are we tracking to what we thought we were doing, which we're doing really good. And so, but we struggled earlier. I mean, we started conversations in April, and really until we really showed traction, it was a lot harder. I mean, we were selling the future without showing the results. And now that we have the results, it's really shifted dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, your growth is great, so congrats on that. I think that's a huge part of the story. We alluded to it earlier that it's all about this market traction. So kudos on that. One very quick question: how are you finding hiring right now? Because a lot of money's flowed in the system. I think talent's getting soaked up. Are you finding it hard to find?
This is where I alluded to, like trying to do this when I was 25 would have been really challenging. Right now, we have the benefit of really strong networks that we've gone back to, and we can tap people, and we're actually getting people to believe the longer vision, want to come in for equity. So we're not burning as much capital if we had to go hire a recruiter, pay massive rates to get them in the door. So we've been really capital efficient. And that's kudos to kind of the career that I built, my co-founders built, the people that we've worked with. So we've been able to kind of tap people that we know are A+ people, and then we just hit the ground running. So we've been able to really short circuit a lot of that, which we won't be able to do that forever, but at least in the short term, that's been really helping our rapid growth.
Build the next gas station, and then you'll have more gas in the tank, and you can change the model a little bit. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Jules and Joanne built an amazing company at the Grommet, and we have, out of the 8 people that we have 5 Grommet people. And not that we're going to continue to just hire Grommet people, but a lot of that.
The CEO of Mass Challenge right now is a former Grommet person as well. So there's
I know
talent in that pool.
Siobhan's awesome. I got to catch up with her soon. Jason, my co-founder, worked really closely with her. She actually brought in Ace as our big wholesale client, which we ended up selling the company to. So kudos to her on that.
Thank you guys so much, John. Such great questions, John H. for John C. And John C., great, thoughtful responses, but also some insights that help other less seasoned founders apply them to their own business model and their own business founder journey. So that was lovely. Thank you so much for that. AJ, shall I pop them into the green room and we'll wrap up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And congrats on 3-year anniversary.
Thank
John,
you very much.
Just made our hearts sing having you here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Riaz, you're welcome. Congrats to all founders tonight. John, thanks for all you've done with Mass Challenge and Two Lanterns. Super inspiring story you have. Boy, is that the truth.
Yeah.
Really remarkable and just the best answers and to questions that are pretty tough. And not everybody can come around that quickly. And Karen, find me on LinkedIn because I got to tell you, there's a lot of Karen Mulligans on LinkedIn. So sorry. But thank you for your lovely comment. Love the event tonight. Good job on 3 years, Andy and AJ. Oh,
good stuff.
Yeah. The only thing missing is the cake, AJ.
I know. We'll have to get a virtual cake somehow.
I know.
Send virtual slices to everyone.
Yeah, and I just also want to take a moment here while we're wrapping up to thank our wonderful sponsor and trivia question reader and somebody who has some great testimonials now, more great testimonials, Robert Hughes. Thank you so much, Robert, for all you do for us here at Founders Live Boston. We always have the best time with you.
Yeah, Rob and his team have been amazing over the past year, especially, we told them, hey, we're going virtual once the pandemic hit. And they're like, you know what, we're going to support you guys 100%. They jumped on board and the rest is history. We kept things going. And, quick shout out to his whole team, Louis, Kyle Gross. Like they have kept with all the work they did during the whole PPP moments. Like they really kept a lot of startups, small businesses alive in this area. They worked overtime, getting things done. So super, super congrats to them and their entire team.
And then of course, founders, Louis, Ning, Mild, John, thank you for carving out time and participating in this pitch event. You will hear from me tomorrow with all the goodies. Okay. So thank you for tuning in. And of course, this was a special treat. John Hawthorne. Wow. As Riaz said, incredible human and also just very knowledgeable and extremely kind and generous with his time. And we already mentioned our other partners and our community partner, of course, CIC. We look forward to getting back into business. Oh my gosh.
Our next event is October 28th, already coming up. We don't know yet whether it'll be virtual, whether it'll be in person, but we'll definitely keep our community updated. But because of you guys, we couldn't do this without you. It's folks like John. It's folks like Alex Stern. I could just go on and on.
Right.
People in this Boston community, they don't have to do this, folks. They don't have to stay at past 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening. Everyone's busy, but they choose to give back. And that spirit of giving is so contagious. It spreads like wildfire throughout this whole Boston community. And we've just been so fortunate to be the receivership of that. So thank you so much.
I know. Thank you. So everyone, it might be hybrid. Okay. You might see us in a location with a small audience and the founders pitching, or we might be back here on StreamYard. We are not sure, but we are going to wish you all safe journeys and continue success and prospering with all the adventures that you're doing.
Great. Let's put the last slide into thank you to everyone in the community that's been supported us over the past few years.
Look at this.
Some heavy hitters there.
Absolutely. We've got Bobby Carlton. We've got Sangeeta Selvarajah. We have Gail Goodman.
Put the slide up.
Oh, it isn't up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there reading it, but it's not up. I am so sorry. Here we
Yeah,
go.
we got Gil Goodman, Eric Bullen, Frederick Towns, who's over in Montreal right now. We got Ziad from Launchpad Ventures. Shout out to them. With David Chang, superstar David Chang.
And we got Debbie Klein. I mean, she was part of that governor's council. I'm sure John, had some great conversations, John Hawthorne, with her, because she was part of, Deval Patrick's Let's Get the Startup Community Going.
Absolutely.
And she, headed up the Babson Innovation Lab, and
Absolutely.
amazing. Of course, we all love Bobby Carlton, who Mass Innovation Nights, everything. I mean, just so many great people.
Amazing people
that have supported us. Thank you, AJ, for remembering to bring this up. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, folks, that's all we got. We are gracious. We are thankful. We opened a lot of doors this evening. Cheers to that.
Yes.
And cheers to 3 more years of opening a lot more doors.
So grateful. Thank you for taking time out to tune in and join us and cheer other founders on. Really grateful. Until next time, we'll see you.